Okay, awesome. Yeah, we are live. So I think people are still joining in. Vibor, do you want to give like a minute or so for people to join in and then kickstart this show?
Of course, no problem. Let's wait for a minute. I see that we have a couple of people
Yeah.
already joined in. So yeah, let's give it a second. Not a problem. Greetings to CryptoVeem.
Awesome. I think we should be good. Yeah. I think let's kickstart and people can join in and they can ask questions down the line if they have any.
Of course. And we are also recording this, right? So it will
Yep.
be available on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on
Thank you.
X, wherever people are
Yep.
watching this. So they're not missing anything. So we should be good to go.
Awesome. Perfect. First of all, thank you so much, Vibor, for joining in today. And yes, hi, my name is Shantanu, and I'm a part of the DevRel team at Zencoder. Today, here with me is Senior Manager Vibor, who will be walking you through Linear and all of those heavy lifting that Linear does behind the scene, and how you can utilize Zencoder to actually pull up your issues and get things sorted for you. So yeah, over to you, Vibor. The stage is all yours.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Shantanu. So couple of things that I wanted us to go through today. So yeah, the main stage, the main idea for us today is to go through Linear. As we were saying many times, often that Zencoder aims to cover the entire software development lifecycle, and we also understand that a lot of development work does not happen just within the IDE, but is also happening across different tools and applications. So, for example, we have people using Jira, using Linear, GitLab for all sorts of different operations, from the project management, tool management, however they want to use it. And Zencoder approaches that very, I would say, in a very structured way. So we have a couple of ways how we are approaching integrations. I will show you a couple of those today. So you will be able to see some of the key informations and basically key, I'd almost say like a workflows between us and external tools. In this case, it will be Linear, which is one of my favorite project management tools. And I know that Linear has like a huge following in general, so I hope this might be useful for those users as well. But what I would like to start with is also I would like to do some housekeeping and maybe spend the first couple of minutes explaining and showing what we have been shipping and what we've been working on in the past month. Now it's already July, so maybe just a couple of quick things of the activities that we did in June and continuous shipping. And also, I would encourage everyone watching this either right now while we're live, but also watching the recordings. If you have any suggestions of how we can improve the product, please feel free to share in comments. Also, join our communities. We have Slack, we have Zencoder communities. So it would be really nice to see you there. And yeah, with that, let me try and share my screen. And I will walk you through a couple of things. Give me 1 second. So, can you tell me, Shantanu, if you can see my screen? I'm currently in
Yeah.
VS Code. Is it visible?
Yes, Vibor, 100%. I can see your screen.
Okay, okay. All right. So, first thing, we usually do most of our demos. I mean, it depends on the use cases, but we like to use this open source repository called Hatchet for doing a bunch of our demos. And the reason for that is because this repo has a lot of code written in Go, in Python, TypeScript, JavaScript. It's pretty much a polyglot repository, something that we often see basically among the users using Zencoder in enterprises, in small businesses, wherever. And one of the things that we also wanted to improve is the ability for our agent to have a better and more thorough understanding of the code base itself. So by default, we ship with something we call repo grokking. We've been talking about that many times before. So it's basically our technology for having an in-depth understanding of the code base, so you can pretty much chat with it. You can almost think of it as a RAG on steroids. We're using a bunch of different tools. So if you want to find out, how do I run this thing? What are the dependencies involved? You can just do that, and Zencoder will provide you with those answers. But we also wanted to take this one step further. And very recently, we launched our new agent. It is accessible by hitting the / command and going to repo info. And what repo info is going to do, it is basically going to collect all the information about this repository, its structure, dependencies, architectural choices, pretty much the entire structure, and it will prepare a comprehensive project information report for me. Now, this might take a second, but let me explain why this is really nice and important for us. So as you can see here, it is going and checking stuff that we have written in Go, stuff that we have written in Python, maybe if we have a Docker configuration, maybe some testing configuration, and so on. But what will happen at the end, it will generate a file, repo.md, if I'm not mistaken by its name. And what is really nice is that repo.md file is pretty much a snapshot of our repository. And with every with every following agent request. So if you wanted to make some changes across multiple files, if you wanted to make some improvements, add new features, remove something, that context of that repo.md file will be always available and injected together with the agent request itself. So instead of you telling it, tell me more about this repo and use that information every single time, we now do that by default. And as you can see here, it created a summary of the things that it found. It will add them to .zencoder/doc/repo.md file. And in a moment, I will show you, yeah, there it is. I'm showing you how it exactly looks like. So it has a summary, structure, different projects that are here, dependencies, information about build and installation, Docker information, Python SDK, and so on. So now every time when you want to do some change and make some changes with the on your code base, add something, remove something, agent will have access to this context and basically will save you. And that is really important because now new plans are charged and built per LLM calls. It will actually save you some LLM calls, but it will not have to do this entire discovery every single time. We are working on improving this one. So currently you need to run it manually. You might see it when you start, or you might have already observed it. So when you start your IDE, there might be like a little note telling you, hey, you should go and run repo info. And I also encourage you when you make some significant changes to the project, to the app itself, just hit it, do it, to make it run. So it can update this repo.md file for you so that agent always has relevant information available to it. As I said, working on improving those things along the line, but we already noticed significant improvements with this because, as I said, this context is now always available with every single request that it's being made there. So that's the first thing. It's been available since June 30th, something like that, June 29th. So it's really, very fresh. And another thing that we just recently launched, and I want to show you a quick demo of this is, and this is probably on top of our feature request, was the ability to use image prompts. So I will create a new project here. Let me call it demo image, very original. And I will show you the following thing. So by default, Zencoder had the ability to use the agent by pasting or typing in the text and just basically using regular language, English or whatever language you want to work around. So it was basically text to code in a way, right? But one of the very common requests and one of the things that we kept hearing over and over again is that people would like us to also enable image prompts. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. So what I'm going to show you here, I will create a simple folder. I will just call it images. And here, I hope my screen is still visible. Can you, Shantanu, tell me if you can see the pricing screenshot from our
Yep.
website?
Yep, I can see
You
that.
see it?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I will just add this image to my folder here. I will just paste it. Give me 1 second. C Command V. It's not working. Give me one. All right, I will just save it. I will go and hit save. I will find my development. Did we call it demo image? I think that was our directory. I will call it pricing.png, save. Now it should become available here. Yeah, it's now here. So what I'm going to do now, I will just ask Zencoder, and I'm going to save some time by copying this prompt that I just did moments ago. So what I'm going to do, I will tell it, hey, I need you to help me build an HTML CSS website that looks as close as and similar as possible to this image. And now I can just easily pretty much reference that image by typing at. Now we have files and images, select for computer, images, pricing PNG, open. And now, as you can see, that image has been added here as a context, and I tell it, some additional information about it. So let's give it a go. Basically, what will happen now, coding agent should now recognize the elements and everything that I've added to this image, and should come up with a simple file for me, basically trying to emulate that look as soon as possible. So it's going to check the header navigation. It is also checking the pricing heading. It recognizes there are 4 pricing tiers in a grid layout. I think that's actually correct. Yeah, free, starter, core, and advanced. It includes, each tier has a title, description. Yeah, okay. And now it will work on those files and structure for me. Let's give it a second. One thing that I want to share more about the availability of this feature. So currently this is available in VS Code. Just make sure that you upgraded or updated to the latest version of our plugin. It will be coming to JetBrains soon, and also there are going to be improvements in ways of how we are handling it. But for now, you add a prompt, you make sure that the image is a part of your project, and then you can just, as I said, easily use add file to reference it, find it there, and then you can just also provide it with some additional information for it. Shantanu, are we having any questions so far? I don't see it because I'm full screen into this one.
Yeah, I mean, no questions so far. I think we are pretty good. I'll stop you in between if I have some questions coming along the way.
Okay, just stop me. Just stop me
Yep.
if I'm missing something. Or also, if you have some questions, I'll be happy to
Yep.
share them.
Yep.
One of the things that we also noticed is that people sometimes when they asked about this support for adding images, it was really important for them that they can use it as a starting point, right? So it is not realistic to expect that it will be pixel by pixel perfect representation, but to a large degree, what is going to happen, you are going to have a really good representation of it to a high level of details, and that can be used as a really good starting point when it comes to dealing with layouts. So for example, you might have a Figma design, or you might have a website or application that you liked elsewhere. Just be mindful of user rights, and in that case, you can just paste it here, use it as a part of your context, and ask Zencoder to work on it. It is still working and analyzing this one. Let me open. While it's working on this one, I'll revert back to this one in a second. I will go back. Oh, okay, it's already here. It took me a while. I thought it would take a little bit longer, but I think we should be good to go in a second. Now it will create a CSS file. Yeah, I asked it to use Tailwind. You can ask it to use, pretty much any framework that you would like it to do, or you can just go ahead and say, use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and pretty much recreate everything from the scratch. It's completely up to you. We will be having a special and additional webinar in addition to this. In a couple of weeks from now, we'll keep you posted, where I'll be going to show you more about creating, let's say, cinematic web pages using image prompts to a larger extent. But as I said, we wanted to showcase these 2 really quick features that we shipped, in addition to Zen-Tester, in addition to a bunch of other things that you already were able to see in our change logs. So let's give it a second while it creates JavaScript file for interactive functionality. Okay, I'm curious to see how it will build this, given that I just provided it within a static image without providing it and telling it more details into it. But let's give it a second. This is our agentic pipeline at work. So it starts to write the code, tries to evaluate it to make sure that code actually works. So it might take a second, but what you end up with is pretty much the code. Yeah, exactly. You see here, it noticed that it needs to update HTML to fix some styling issues to make it more accurate to the image. So on its own, hands off from my side, and it will make sure that the proper CSS classes are applied and everything works as it should. Let's give it a second. Shantanu, do you see use cases for something like this in your workload, in your workflow? Basically, starting a new project or making changes to existing one with image prompts. How do you see this going forward?
Oh yeah, I mean this is wonderful. So I have a I was working on a Flutter application last weekend, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest problem was actually to replicate the same Figma thing. And I had a few UI
Ah,
components that I wanted to pull from Uber. So I was building a car riding application, and I wanted to build pull a few screenshots from Uber and replicate them in
uh-huh.
my application. So the biggest challenge was to explain the AI, I mean specifically Zencoder, and what to do. So I think
Yeah.
this solves my problem. I mean, I can just take a screenshot, paste it in the right in my extension, and it's good to go.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that
Yeah,
actually
and
solves a lot. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, one of the things is, for example, also if you want to tell the LLM, to Zencoder, hey, I need to make some changes here, or I need to make some changes there. It's easier, just to give it an image instead of describing that,
Yeah.
just by typing it, right? So while
Right.
it's working on this, I will switch to linear part, and then I will get back to this one. I'll just give it a little bit more time. Let me show you again. I will go to our old and trusty Hatchet project that
Mhm.
I was showing you moments ago. Let me zoom in a little bit so it's easier for everyone to see. So as I was saying, so Zencoder, we want to be able to cover uh, pretty much the entire software development lifecycle, and that also includes integrations, different integrations. And by default, if you go to Zencoder, and if you go to integrations, we have our built-in Jira integrations. But recently, you might have started seeing this Zencoder Chrome extension, right? So Zencoder Chrome extension is a really nice, really powerful thing that enables us to connect with 22, 23 additional services that we currently support.
Right.
And those support include, for example, Jira. So if I open my ticket here in Jira, you will be able to see a button that says Solve with Zencoder. And yeah, the extension itself freely available. It recognizes which IDs I have currently open on my side. And, for example, I could just click Solve with Zencoder and it will take it there. We recently surpassed 1,000 users. So hopefully after this webinar, more of you will be giving it a go. But this is about Linear. And Linear is, as I said, one of my favorite tools that I like to use. And here I have a couple of issues that I've added here to my project. Basically, what I would like to do is to be able to solve these issues directly from Linear and pull them back in to Zencoder. So one option for doing something like that could be, let's say, just clicking on this one, and then similar as you saw with Jira, click on the Solve with Zencoder button. So I will do that. It recognizes a hatchet. It pulled in the entire context of this ticket, and it will now try to add those type hints and improve return types annotations for my project. Let's give it a second. It will try to understand for these functions in the code base. What I could have done also, I could have mentioned it that it's token.py file, but it will figure it out on its own. So this is one way by using the Google Chrome extension pretty much. We always say Google Chrome extension, but it will work in all Chromium powered browsers. So I think it would work in Brave, Edge. You can go ahead and give it a try and see how that would work. So let's give it a moment. Yeah, it said it found both functions in this file. This is what I like about repo I didn't even tell it in which file this is located. I just gave him a name of the functions and it found it. And it says, okay, I see the issues that need to be resolved. Perfect. See the project uses from typing import. It's a tuple. It will convert it into something else. Yeah, imports from typing. And let's give it a second. It will look the complete updated file to make sure all changes are correct. quick test. All right. So I can now see all the changes that have been made here. So pretty much this was one of the ways, one of the simpler ways how I could do this by just going to Linear itself, clicking on that button, and basically grabbing that context. But we live in the age of MCPs and different tools, and luckily Linear has an MCP, and Zencoder does support MCP. So I will show you another way how you can integrate Zencoder and solve the tasks using MCP. So what I did, I'll go back here. Under the Zencoder menu, there is an option called Agent Tools. And what I did, I just added a custom MCP. So by default, here's how it works in Zencoder, right? So what we can do, let me just close this one for now. What we can do, I will expand a little bit. So Zencoder comes shipped with a bunch of different tools that we use behind the scenes internally, like executing shell command, fetching web page content, and so on. There is also an MCP library. So for example, if you want to use GitLab or GitHub, you can just easily click here. There is a configuration that can be then used, and you can install MCPs. But for example, you might not have some of them in the MCP library. Then you can just go and click add custom MCP server and paste pretty much the configuration here by giving it also give it a name and paste your configuration here. So what I did moments ago, I actually did that with Linear. So I added it. I will show you how it looks. And I think I shared with you, Shantanu. So if you want to share in chat, or we can share it maybe in some of the comments, this is basically Linear's official configuration that is used. Once you add it and click install, it will guide you through the process of basically authenticating with your Linear instance. You will assign the different workspace to it. And now, if I go back to the chat, I will just tell you the following. Tell me, oh no, not tell me, list all Linear issues that are related to me. So now Coding Agent should be able to use the MCP, the Linear tool that I have. And yeah, it's running list my issues tool. Let's give it a second. Let me fetch your assigned issues. All right. Ah, this is nice. It actually has the, if they're high priority, medium priority, or if they are also in backlog, but it also has their status like to do for medium priority or for the high priority. And these ones here are in the backlog. So pretty much listed all of them. It says they're currently related to token.py file. You know what? This is okay, but let's say I want to move this one from backlog to high priority. I'll just use English. I'll just tell it, move this to do and give it a high priority to add these comprehensive doc strings to the token.py. So again, Coding Agent should be able to recognize the exact statuses that need to be done. Yeah, it says it's moving it to do and setting the status, its priority to high.
Awesome.
Yeah, there is a state and setting the one to high. Once it's done so, all right, let me actually, it says it's now in my to-do list with high priority. I will check it. And it is. There it is. It's a high priority and it's a to-do. You know what? Let's pretty much complete this entire flow. What I'm going to do, I'll just say it, you know what? Implement this ticket and solve this issue. So hopefully it still has this context, and which I believe it does. It should understand that we are, dealing with the Zen 6, and it should add these comprehensive doc strings. And it seems that's going to be the case here. So yeah, without me ever really leaving the IDE, I could just easily interact with Linear, pull all those tickets. I can actually, as you saw, change their statuses, update them, move them from backlog to something that needs to be done. And now currently, obviously, it is currently working on analyzing the file. It is adding those doc strings. Okay, when I said comprehensive, it really took me quite literally with comprehensive. You'll see that in a moment. And it says, yeah, okay, it added a module level docstring, type hint imports, all of these things. I will click here. Oh yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, this is pretty nice. So yeah, without me ever having to leave the IDE itself, it has been able to solve this issue for me.
Mhm.
The next step and stuff things that we could also do is connect this basically, once I commit this, to basically close the issue itself. But the general idea, as I said, if you have two options for this particular case, you can use either solve with Zencoder button. And this will be visible, as I said, I show it in Jira, it's visible in Linear, it's also available in Sentry and a bunch of others. All you need to do is just install our free Chrome web extension, and you will get these contextual buttons pretty much available anywhere else. Shantanu, do we have any questions, or is there something that I haven't covered here?
Oh no, I think this is
Maybe.
super comprehensive. Thank you so much for doing this, covering the MCP part. Bringing out the MCP integration directly into Zencoder,
Mm-hmm.
I think that eliminates a lot of product management heavy lifting. So yeah, I find it super seamless. We do have a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of questions. Do you want to take it now or after the?
Feel free to shoot me with the questions. I'll just check in the meantime if our agent has completed this, the part that we wanted to see with our pricing page.
Awesome.
Oh
So
wow, okay, we got it.
okay,
It's here.
perfect. This looks beautiful.
Yeah, go ahead. Happy to answer questions.
Yeah. So I have a question from Daniel. He asks, "Will we see DeepSeek as a model? Some options like other agentic tools have."
Okay, that's a great question. Daniel, thanks for asking. So currently, Zencoder does support a bunch of different models. By default, people use Zencoder Custom, which is essentially a combination of different models running in the background. We are redesigning this entire model selector window, and there will be more, I would say, more choices for you down the road. For the DeepSeek itself, uh, we are generally open to something like that, but we also need to be mindful of the facts, from the security point of view. Zencoder is SOC 2 Type 2 compliant. We also have ISO 27001 and 42001 compliances and certifications. So operating within enterprise environments, security and basically traceability and reliability of models is really very important for us. And that holds true for pretty much all the models, including frontier models, but also open source models. So at this point, I don't have a concrete answer in a way that, yes, we are going to have it tomorrow or in a 6 months time or something like that. We are open to that, but we also need to be sure that from the security point of view, from the content point of view, intellectual property rights point of view, we got this all covered so that there are no unpleasant and unexpected surprises.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vibha, for answering this. I hope Daniel
Sure.
that answers your question. And if in case you still have questions, reach us out on Slack, Discord, and we'll be happy to answer them. There
Yeah.
is a follow-up question again from Daniel. So Daniel
Uh-huh.
asks, will you offer a partner program that grants participants use of advanced features to help startup achieve go-to-market faster?
Okay. I I'm definitely open to that, and companies as well. We are actually looking into building a closer relationship with partners, maybe with someone who's already implementing and working on this and providing us with the feedback on a regular basis. One way people can already do so is, as I said, by joining our communities on Discord and on Slack. Finding us there. There's Shantanu, there's myself, there's also a bunch of other colleagues from the team, and our entire product team is there. We would be interested in having a more formal relationship. So, Daniel, if you have some suggestions and ideas of how you'd like that to work and what would you expect for such program, don't hesitate to reach to us. You can help us shape it, and then we can also make sure that it delivers the most value for you and everyone else who is involved, who is interested in something similar.
Yep, 100%. I think there is another last question from Carlos from LinkedIn. So
Okay.
Carlos is signing in from LinkedIn and watching us out there. So Carlos asks, would love to see the actual results of this. I think by this he means the image thing that you just tried out.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Specific.
I think this is the one that I just showed. Yeah. Mhm.
Awesome. And next, specifically Zencoders in production server to see how it matches the image we use for the context. So he basically wants a one-on-one comparison of how it looks like.
Oh, I love that. So this is the screenshot that I took, and this is not this one. This was something old. Oh, so many windows. So this is the screenshot, and this is what we ended up with. Uh, I can also, of course, open Zencoder AI and go to pricing, so you can see. So now, literally side by side, this is on our website. Keep in mind that I cut it off at Zen Agents, and I think our image also adds at our implementation adds here stops here at Zen Agents, right? So I think it got it pretty close. It's not perfect, as I said, and it's literally something we released very recently. But I believe, for example, if I were to try start from, I don't know, from Figma, or just taking a screenshot for me to, set up a layout and then build on top of that, this would be an awesome starting point for me. So Carlos, I hope this is close enough. If not, we will definitely be working on making sure that it gets even closer to the original image. I hope this
Yep.
answers the question, though. Yeah.
Yep. Carlos says this is amazing.
Okay. Awesome. I'm happy then.
Okay. Awesome. I think we have a last. I mean, it's not a question again. It's just a praise that Victor says the partnership program will be a great initiative. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, as I said, we definitely are open to something like that. We would also like to not just build it in vacuum, but also understand what are you expecting out of a partnership program like that? Is it I don't know, early access to some of the features, you having a close touch with the team while building different features, and then having the impact on the product direction, maybe having a private sessions with the product team and maybe on Slack or Discord channels where you will be able to share your direct feedback and exchange, get, as I said, early access to some of these things. Open for those. We are actively working on them. We have them with a couple of our proof of concept and larger clients, right? But running the community and being involved with the community, this is something that is very close to my heart personally. And I know it's the same with Shantanu. And we would definitely be interested in seeing something like this, getting to fruition and working.
Awesome. I think I have a last question from Carlos. Another follow up. So Carlos
Mhm.
says, if I had the business package prior to the pricing, and the package changes, where would somebody land
Mhm.
on this pricing model?
Uh, I will. So my understanding is, Carlos, you're currently on one of the older plans that we had before, right? Is that the case? Because we are not adding new users to the older plans that we had before, the business and enterprise, right? So, and there is no like one-to-one match between the older plans and these ones here. So, for example, these new plans these new plans that we introduced recently, they come with more visibility. Now, for example, let me show you that in the app itself, I should be able, yeah, here I can see, how many premium calls have been used for this answer, right? And previously you didn't have that level of visibility. So this is that's one of the changes, right? And also you can always see when you go to auth.zencoder.ai, pretty much in your uh, user management console, in a way, you can see your daily allowance. That's what you get on the new plans, right? Older plans, they were not charged per LLM calls per day. They were actually using tokens and dynamic limits, so that was a little bit of different. So we will keep the existing plans for some time. I don't know exactly for how long, but definitely for a couple of months, several months going forward. And then after that, people will have the ability to choose any of the plans here.
Awesome. I think that I mean, no more questions from the community. But yeah, I think this was super cool. If that's it, then we can call it off a day.
Okay, I think we pretty much covered it. One thing that I would also like to do is I would like to invite you. We will be having these webinars pretty much every Wednesday.
Goodness.
Is it Wednesday today? It is Wednesday. Yeah, the days get confusing. Even during the summer, we will
Yep.
be having some combinations and also events that we'll be talking about integrating Zencoder with Supabase. We will also be showing you how to use image prompts to create more visually appealing and cinematic websites. But also, if you as a community have any ideas of what you'd like us to cover down the road, we are very much open to that. We'd love to listen to your ideas and make sure that this kind of content that we create is exactly what you're looking for.
Yep, 100%. Adding on to what just Vibhor said, if you still have any questions, if you want to talk to the team, feel free to reach us out. You can reach us out on email, Slack, Discord. I've dropped the links in the chat. Feel free to reach us out, and we'll be more than happy to assist. So yeah, once again, thank you so much, Vibhor, for joining in today, showing us how beautifully linear comes into the picture, solves the problem,
Yep.
and makes it easy for developers. So yeah, thank you so much. Have a very good day, evening, wherever you are from any part of the world, and we'll see
Yep.
you next week.
Take care, guys. Thank you so much for
Take care.
joining, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Yep. Bye.